Hello, everybody, and welcome students and tutors and teachers to this interview that is asked to the teacher, Cristian Sandoval. Today, we invite the teacher to ask some questions about the bilingualism in Colombia. Let me remind you, teacher, this session is recording to gather all the information from the answers that you can give us in the interview. What's the idea of this interview? The idea is identify the impact of bilingualism policies and on educational quality and equity within different socialistic contexts in Colombia. So, teacher, thanks for accepting and for coming to this interview.
Right. Thank you for inviting me as well.
Okay, teacher. So let's start by the first question. To what extent have Colombia's bilingualism policies actually bridged the education gap, especially for rural and vulnerable communities that still seem to be falling behind?
Mm, well, to be honest, there's a kind of a problem right here because sadly I feel that it's not like an issue so far. Yes, because for rural areas and vulnerable communities, maybe English is not like their priority right now. So in that regard, meanwhile, there's like something very general, which is the common basic rate, the basic learning rights, the suggested curriculum, they do not apply to everything. So in these cases, which is rural, vulnerable communities, then it's a case-by-case scenario. So by that fact, we do not know that if it is actually like okay right now, or if it is like if they I even care about English at all.
Okay, teacher. How can Colombia's bilingualism initiatives move beyond just focusing on English proficiency for tests and rankings and instead of celebrate linguistic diversity and intercultural understanding?
There is like a situation like you maybe notice that every book that we have is all about British culture and like other cultures, American cultures. Yes, that's actually the reason they're like trying to do this. The linguistic diversity and the intercultural changing is because these books, these topics, these ideas are based on the other cultures. Basically, when you're learning a language, you're not learning just the language, you're learning the culture. Yes. So by that fact, by seeing the topics that they show you, then you learn the language and culture as well.
Okay. Next question is, do the basic listening rights for English, or DBA, as known in Spanish, truly capture what Colombian students need to communicate effectively, or are they oversimplifying language learning into checklist?
Mm, okay. Um, the basic learning rights are supposed to be something very, very, very basic. Yes. But the thing is, like, you're not supposed to like follow them like how it's written. You are supposed to actually go beyond of what is written. It is general because you're supposed to adapt it to whatever need you have in your school. So by that regard, yes, they simplify it, but they simplify for a reason. You're supposed to make it complex.
Okay. How can teachers balance the structure approach of the DBA with the flexibility they need to tailor their lessons to their students' unique context?
Okay, well, first of all, you need to know their students. Yes, it is a very long process, and it is like it takes a while. Yes, you need to know your students, and from there you start to know how can I have this topic. How can I learn teach it to the students? Yes.
Yep.
So of course it's a base by case scenario. For example, I do not like to repeat my own lesson plan. A lesson plan is supposed to be like a structure, yes. However, the lesson plan was made because of the students in that time. When you get different students, you get different needs and so on. So, yep.
Okay. How does the suggested curriculum framework for grades 6 to 12 to 11 provide a cohesive and progressive English learning experience, and where might it fall short in addressing local needs and realities?
From what I checked, because of course English is just methodology, it's just a vehicle, and you need like a topic or something to actually like use the language. And I have checked it that there is like a lot of like general situations. Like for example, I saw like democracy and really democracy and a peace, for example. Yes,
Yeah.
if I'm actually seeing this correctly. So like technically they're using like different and general topics and they're using English in that regard. If is this actually like addressing the local needs, does depend. Some might actually address it, some might not. Yes, as reality is just a case by case scenario.
Okay. Should the curriculum focus on global issues like health, peace, sustainability, and globalization, or should it prioritize the cultural and linguistic identities?
Okay. How can I explain? The students, when you're actually like when addressing a topic, students might care or not care about the what you're showing them. Yes, it's because of their likes. There are some cases that maybe you show something very interesting from another country or like, and that's fine. Yes. However, it is also true that it's very easy for them to be related to something that happened around them. Yes. This is kind of a reason why, even though books are trying to show cultures of other places, students do not really feel a connection to those topics because they have never felt it. Yes.
Yeah.
I would suggest then first prioritize on what they know, something that is near to them. When you have like the kind of understanding, they have like a, oh, I have seen everything that is around me. Then you can go beyond. Yes. But
So,
regardless, it's like easier for them.
okay. Is there a way to strike a balance between the two?
Maybe make comparisons. Like is the most common way. Like we have the context, in this case, Colombian context. Yes, okay. Let's explore the Colombian context, and then we compare it to other cultures. Yes, and from that comparison, you still like exploring multiculturalism and your own context by the same at the
Okay.
same time.
So making conversions can be the way to
It could be
balance it.
yes. Like
Okay.
do
Yeah,
not
because there's
forget where. Mhm.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, keep going.
Do not forget where you come from and be have an open minded to other cultures.
Okay. Okay, great. How can tech tools like Kahoot, Duolingo, and Padlet be used to support English language learning in a way that goes beyond the motivation and actually helps students develop deeper skills in speaking and writing?
Right. That really depends on the kind of tool you're using. Every single one of these are have a different function. Kahoot, you can actually go for vocabulary or a grammar structure, while you have to make it yourself. You have to like make the questions and change it in a way that they're according to what you need, what you want to work. Duolingo, it is very good for vocabulary, but of course it's not enough. Yes, you can check like some things that people say, but it is up to you as well how to use it. Padlet at the same time is very good for a group. Oh, sorry, group discussion. There you go. And in that regard, of course, is just to use it in English. Yes. Detective, this depends on like what you actually need. Yes.
Yeah.
Sadly, sometimes it's not gonna work. Yes. Sometimes, okay, maybe I can keep using it because it is within the needs. Sadly, it is a search. according to what you want, what skill they want to do. If you want to be like writing, these is specific tools. If you want speaking, these are specific tools. They are tools. Yes. It is up to you to search them. Sometimes they're not good enough. Sometimes you might have to even create them. Yes. So the tools are there. Up to
Yeah,
you how
totally.
you use them.
Okay. And the final question, teacher. Why students with disabilities and indigenous language background often get left behind in bilingual education policies, and what changes are needed to ensure they have equal access to English language learning opportunities?
Okay. Well, disabilities. Depends on what kind of disabilities. Yes. Like for example, if maybe I don't know, speaking disability, then what you do? Hearing disability, what you do? Yes.
Yeah.
Depends on that. If it's too extreme, then there becomes a moment that is impossible. Yes. However, when the disability will, if the disability doesn't like impede them into trying to do something, you do have to like make the activities based on what they actually need. In that regard, it might be more specialized. It might be more like accompanied. You might even need more like a specific theories according to the kind of need. Yes, or sometimes there's so mild that you won't even like care. Yes, so in that regard, disabilities depends on the disability. It is a challenge, of course, and sometimes it might be really hard for them to actually speak with another person. Yes, so you do have to like assess what how far you can actually go with this person and how your teaching skills, your teaching methodology has to change according to this person's needs. It all depends on the needs. As for
Mm.
indigenous language, I not gonna lie, I'm not sure about this. They have a purity on their own language. Like there's a lot of indigenous cultures here in Colombia, and there's a lot of them have their own language. Actually, Colombia is considered pluricultural, plurilinguistic because of these languages. Yes, and government has authority to uh, protect these languages. In that
Okay.
regard, English as a foreign language doesn't really have um, like a place for these indigenous cultures. If they want, of course, but it's not their priority. Their priority should actually be to um, still have their language, to protect their languages.
Okay, teacher. Well, teacher Christian, thank you so much for coming again to this interview, for showing us all your experience through the answers of these questions. Thanks again for accepting and coming today. And that's it. Okay. Thanks for giving that reflection about your experience. How is it being along your academy, your practices, your work on different schools or institutes, the places where you have taught. So thank you so much again for coming. And that's it, teacher.
I thank you again for the opportunity. I hope the answers were okay for you all.
It will be, teacher. Thank you so much.